The 6th of June, 1944, a date forever etched in the annals of history. On this day, the fate of the world hung precariously in the balance. The Allied forces, poised on the precipice of destiny, prepared to launch the largest amphibious invasion the world had ever seen. Their objective, the beaches of Normandy, France. Their goal, the liberation of Europe from the clutches of Nazi tyranny. The operation, codenamed Overlord, had been months in the making. Meticulous planning and coordination were paramount. Every detail, from troop deployments to weather patterns, was scrutinized with utmost care. The stakes could not have been higher. Success meant a turning point in the war, a beacon of hope for the oppressed. Failure, on the other hand, would have been an unmitigated disaster, potentially prolonging the conflict indefinitely. The weight of the free world rested on the shoulders of the young men about to embark on this perilous mission. They hailed from all walks of life, united by a common purpose: to defeat fascism and restore peace to a war-torn world. Their courage and sacrifice would forever be remembered. By the early 1940s, the shadow of Nazi Germany had fallen over much of Europe. From the icy plains of the Eastern Front to the sun-drenched shores of the Mediterranean, the swastika flew high, a symbol of oppression and terror. Millions languished under the yoke of Nazi occupation, their dreams of freedom seemingly extinguished. The Nazi war machine, fueled by conquest and plunder, seemed unstoppable. Their armies, led by ruthless commanders, had swept aside all opposition. The once proud nations of Europe lay shattered, their economies in ruins, their spirits broken. But even in the darkest of times, hope flickered. In the hearts of the occupied peoples, resistance movements sprung up, defying their oppressors with acts of sabotage and defiance. And across the English Channel, the Allied forces gathered, determined to break the Nazi stranglehold on Europe. The invasion plan was audacious in its scope and complexity. 5 beaches, codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword, were chosen as landing sites. Each beach presented its own unique challenges, from treacherous currents to heavily fortified German defenses. Under the cover of darkness, the invasion fleet set sail from England. Thousands of ships, from mighty warships to humble landing craft, churned across the English Channel, their wakes illuminated by the pale light of the moon. The air crackled with anticipation as the men prepared themselves for the fight ahead. As dawn broke over the Normandy coast, the first wave of landing craft approached the beaches. The roar of naval gunfire filled the air as Allied warships unleashed a thunderous bombardment on the German defenses. The ground shook under the impact of thousands of tons of explosives. Section 4. Sands of Sacrifice. The landings were met with fierce resistance. On Omaha Beach, American troops faced a maelstrom of fire and steel. German machine guns, entrenched in concrete bunkers, poured down a deadly hail of bullets. The beach was soon littered with the bodies of fallen soldiers. But despite heavy casualties, the Allies pressed on. With unwavering determination, they fought their way ashore, inch by bloody inch. On Utah Beach, American forces faced less intense resistance and were able to secure their objectives relatively quickly. Canadian and British troops on Juno and Sword beaches also encountered heavy fighting, but managed to establish a foothold on the continent. The Battle of Normandy had begun. For days, weeks, and months, the fighting raged on. The hedgerow country of Normandy became a killing ground, where every field, every village was fiercely contested. Section 5. A Legacy Forged in Valor. The success of the D-Day landings marked a turning point in the war. The Allies had established a foothold on continental Europe, and the liberation of France had begun. Within a year, Paris would be free, and the Nazi regime would crumble into dust. The cost of victory was high. Thousands of Allied soldiers lay dead on the beaches of Normandy, their sacrifice a testament to the enduring human spirit. But their deaths were not in vain. D-Day stands as a testament to the power of courage, sacrifice, and international cooperation. It reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, freedom can prevail. The legacy of D-Day continues to inspire us today, urging us to strive for a world free from tyranny and oppression.